This menu, running down the left side of the screen, is called your global navigation menu, and it stays with you no matter where you are in Canvas, whether you're on the dashboard, inside a course, or anywhere else. That's what they mean when they call it global. It's always there, to the left. Let's just work our way down this menu and identify the different parts. Starting at the top, this is Account, your personal settings. Separate from any one course, it's how you're represented globally. We're going to spend a whole video on this one later, since it covers your notifications and your profile picture, but it's worth setting up properly before the semester starts. Next is the dashboard, and that just brings you back to the screen that we already looked at in the last video, and it's where we are now, the hub, the landing page, the dashboard, as Canvas calls it. Courses gives you a drop-down of every course you are currently teaching, along with an option to see your full course list. This is often the fastest way to jump between courses without going back to the dashboard first. So if you're in a course and you're teaching multiple sections of that course, this would be the fastest way to jump between those sections without that extra click of going back to the dashboard. Calendar pulls together due dates and events from every one of your courses into a single view. If you're teaching more than one course, this is a good place to get a sense of what's coming up across all of them at once, rather than checking each course separately. In the calendar, it also provides you a very quick and simple way to adjust due dates without having to go into each assignment. There's a drop and drag aspect to it that can be very simple, but that's for another video. And as I'm calling all of these out, it is good to know that this is the same way your students are able to see their upcoming due dates across courses. Their Canvas environment is laid out in the exact same way that you see yours. Now, this next one is worth pausing a bit on, Inbox. This is Canvas's own internal messaging system. It kind of works like email, but it's not your regular email. When you message a student through here, the conversation is saved inside Canvas. And depending on your notification settings and the students, it may also forward to your actual email address, your Canvas associated email. But even if a student replies from their personal email, like a Gmail or a Yahoo account, or even their school associated email, or their message gets forwarded somehow into a spam filter somewhere in Outlook, the exchange itself still goes through or is filtered through Canvas, so it still lives here in the Canvas inbox. So it's a reliable place to check if you're not sure whether a communication went through, or if a student said, well, I sent it to you, you can check through Canvas as long as they're replying to your Canvas-initiated messaging. So that's an important reason why communication through Canvas can be beneficial. If it was initiated in Canvas, it may get forwarded, but it will still live inside Canvas. But that brings up another critical rule about the inbox. Canvas completely blocks you from messaging students if your course is still unpublished. So if it's before your course has been launched, if it's early, prior to when the course starts, you won't be able to send a welcome email through the Canvas inbox until the course has been switched to being live, to being published. If you try to write them before the system or your instructional designer makes that course live, the system won't let you select their names, and the same is true after the course ends. Inbox messages will only be delivered to students if and when the course is published. And then at the bottom is Help. Now it's important to distinguish this help is specifically Canvas, the LMS help. So if you're having issues with a quiz that doesn't seem to be deploying, or a student says, hey, I'm not seeing this assignment, or I tried to submit it, that type of communication, you want to reach out to us, to your instructional designer, to our IT help. But really, it's just a good practice that if you have an issue, your first point of contact is going to be your instructional designer or our IT helpline. That's your global navigation, the menu that follows you everywhere. In the next video in this series, if you're watching them in order, we will go into an actual course and look at the navigation that's specific to your courses.